In a world where the villagers are too stupid to realize that their preacher is an evil sack of crap, three unlikely friends join forces to try and save the town and try and save someone's family in this. So today we're going to talk about this book called Greenteeth by Molly O Neill. It is what I would call a folk horror slash fantasy. It's a very fun book. You come into it, there's this preacher who comes to town, and the first thing that happens is he convinces the villagers that this witch who has lived there her whole life is this evil demoness, and they throw her in the lake. And they've chained her up with like manacles and stuff, and so she gets thrown in the lake. Well, in that lake lives Jenny Greenteeth, and Jenny Greenteeth is like this lake hag, I guess you would say. She has green hair and green skin. Her teeth are not green, contrary to popular belief. They're actually just white and razor sharp, and she's got a lot of them. Like a lot of teeth, like rows. Imagine like shark teeth is kind of what I think, but like a lot longer. This witch gets thrown in, but Jenny Greenteeth decides not to eat her, especially because like full-size adults, it is a lot. She doesn't want to get indigestion. There's a bunch. There's some funny reasons. There's some other reasons. She decides to save her. She takes her back and drags her into her cave. When she first wakes up, she is freaked out. So Temperance is the name of the witch. Her and Jenny start talking. Temperance doesn't know what to do because this preacher has convinced everyone that she's evil. And so eventually they get to the point where she's like, well, because over the years, Jenny's lived there for a long time. Hundreds, thousands of years? I'm not sure. She's been there a long time in this lake. But people have thrown all kinds of things in there. She has all these bits and bobs, and she has a little like will-o'-the-wisp lantern that she bought from this goblin. He sells stuff like a peddler. And she has like old coins, and she has some beer down there, and there's an old sword and a bunch of stuff. So she's like, you can take some of my gold, go and find another place to live, maybe send for your family afterwards, because she has a family. She has a 3-year-old daughter and a, I think, 8-month-old son, Josiah, and then her husband, Benedict. She doesn't know what she's going to do, so she's like, okay, well, maybe I will go and try to get kind of further away, find a place to live, and then send for them. And like, Jenny gives her like 5 gold coins, which is like enough in those days to like buy a whole town. So she's has this money. It was very kind of her. Okay, so she goes, but then what ends up happening, Jenny's down in her cave, and then she was swimming around, and then she hears this like, there's a ruckus of water. It sounds like the water, something's slapping around. She's like, oh, maybe a deer fell in or whatever. And then like she swims out to investigate. And then like when she comes up, it's the witch. The witch is back. She's like, what are you doing here? And the witch is like, I can't let them take my family. My husband will never leave. His family grew up here, and this is his family's farm. I know I'll never convince him to leave. She's like, I need to do something. She's like, I'm a witch. If we can put together maybe this powerful spell, we can save the town and this, that, and the other. So they decide they're going to do this. But she needs some really like specific items like a murderer's finger bone and I think like oh, what else was there? There was like, was it unicorn hair? There was a bunch of stuff that was like you couldn't just find very easily. And Jenny's like, well, I know this very annoying goblin peddler, Brackus Marsh, and I'll put out a message to him to see if we can get these ingredients you need, and I'll help you with casting this spell. And for some reason, Jenny has like taken a liking to her. And, Jenny's been alone for a really long time. So it's kind of nice to have some company. She used to have a daughter. Her daughter had found her a nice lake, which is kind of far away, I guess, because only one Jenny lives in a lake at a time and whatnot. And so call for this peddler. He comes and he brings the stuff that she needs to cast a spell. And they're going to cast a spell to make everyone forget that they threw her in the water and that she's a witch and that this happened so that she can try to make this all go away and like maybe go about getting to know the preacher a different way or something so that he doesn't do this again. They are able to get all the ingredients from Brackus. So they go to cast this spell. And when they do, the magic starts going. And also, maybe if you don't want like any spoilers, turn back now because there's going to be a few. Nothing like major, but this part could be a pretty big spoiler. So, all right. So they cast the spell. It goes over the town. and people are starting to forget. And then it gets up to the parsonage, and when it gets to the parsonage, all of a sudden it feels like something black and oily is coming back at them, and the spell is starting to break down and come apart. Jenny feels this, and both of them do, and she actually ends up saving Temperance again because this thing's coming. So she throws her like in the lake, and then Jenny gets in the lake and like puts this big dome up and prevents this oily, black, evil stuff from getting in there. All right. So they're like, what the hell do we do now? This guy is not just a preacher, he's something like evil and bad. And so Jenny's like, I'm gonna go get a closer look. I don't think it's the same night that she does this. So on a different day, she goes back and she like climbs up the side of the parsonage house, and she's kind of like looking in the window, and she can hear like the breathing. It sounds all effed up and weird. And then she sees like at one point he sticks out this tongue, and it's like this long, like weird black tongue. But then he like looks and sees her, like he knew she was there the whole time, and like she runs away and then gets back into the lake, and she recognizes what he is. He is a void. He is a black hole. He is the Earl King. And this is not good because they don't know how the heck they're going to defeat them. And so their only hope now is to go and find the High Fae and see if there's, try to appeal to the arrogance of the Fairy King to see if they can tell him how to kill this evil that has taken over the village. It's quite the adventure, there is all sorts of magical creatures, and it's about how like magic is fading from the land. Jenny, after being alone all these years, like really finds friendship with these two, even though she was always crabby about having to see Brackus. Brackus would always come still and find her, even though she'd be like, leave me alone, you're annoying, this, that, and the other. It is sweet and magical and weird and whimsical. I really like the writing. If you like folk horror, if you like books that have to do with the Fae and lore and have strange characters that are part Fae, because I mean the goblin Brackus, he was part Fae, and so is Jenny Greenteeth. She's considered a water Fae, and then the witch, obviously, she's not. But it's also like, why did this Earl King of all places, why did he come to this town specifically? It's called Chipping Appleby. It's weird that he would come back like to this little like nothing village. Like, is there something there that he wants to tap into? Curious and curiouser. And so they go and they see like the High Fae, and they talk to the king and the queen, and the king is like, well, if you can do these 3 tasks, I will tell you how you can defeat the Earl King. And so they end up having to go do these 3 tasks, and one of them is they have to go find this boar. This is like a boar of myth. It used to be a man, and they need to not kill him, but capture him and take a silver comb to the bristles on his back and to collect the poison from there, because the poison will fuse with this. And then they need to go to this other place and harvest 5 pounds of iron, but not just any iron, star iron. And it's like underground in this weird place. And the third thing is they need a unicorn horn. So will they be able to get all these things? What a strange party of these like strange fae and witch traveling together. It is a great book. I liked how the ending tied into like some of the lore of the place. I thought that was really cool. And it also just has a really cool cover. Greenteeth, Molly O Neill. Definitely a fun fantasy folk horror read. I liked it a lot. Would recommend. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.